Namaste, everyone. So today we have a very special kind of a presentation here by Dr. Aditya Togi. He's going to talk about nakshatras and some unique things he has found about how you can correlate some nakshatras with the Yogatara's astronomy actually. So we have a very interesting talk to see. But we'll begin today's session with prayer from EG. So over to you, EG. Yeah.
ॐ ग्रहपतये नमः आदित्याय च सोमाय मङ्गलाय बुधाय च गुरुशुक्रशनिभ्यश्च राहवे केतवे नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय.
Great. Awesome.
Yeah, go ahead, Aditya. You can go ahead with the presentation. Thank you again, EG. Yeah, go ahead.
Firstly, thanks for coming, everyone. Yes, thanks for your time. Thanks for coming. This topic was there from a long, many years. I want to find that after learning Nakshatra more than maybe I'm thinking to do this from last several years, but never did it. When I learned about Nakshatra and the Yoga Taras, so it is long overdue. But what happened? We were taking a class with Dr. Raj Vedav last few, maybe 1 or 2 years back, and he was telling about the proper motion of star Arcturus and all, and that instigated again in me, like, okay, I need to go back and see what's this topic of nakshatra with their astronomy properties. Are there any connection with nakshatras and their astronomy properties? And that's what I have done. I would like to present my results. I'm not saying this is a full proof or something. What I have found, I'm going to discuss that. Feel free to include your points. Maybe party, I think who are viewing this video, they can also put their comments in the comment section. And so let's share. Just very basic, starting from, and we not give this, everyone knows. Moon takes 27 days to go around the earth, and each day the moon is nearest a star, and that how the terms 27 nakshatras came into picture. We know the names of 27 nakshatras from Ashwini, Bharani, Kritika all the way to Revati. These are the 27 nakshatras. Westerners divide the sky into 12 equal parts, while in Indian system they observe the moon each night and they saw where the moon is at which star, and that was divided into 27 nakshatras. We also know there are each nakshatras will have yoga taras. Yoga tara is a primary star. For example, this constellation, I know it is a Leo constellation, and this star is a Magha on the neck of the lion. These two stars are the for Purva Falguni. This is the Yogatara of Purva Falguni. This is actually this red one is Regulus. The yellow one is Purva Falguni. And the green one is Denabola, which is a star of Uttara Falguni. So you can see in one constellation. So on one night, the moon will be near to this star. On the other night, the moon will be near to this star. It's actually the ecliptic goes like this somewhere. It almost goes from the Magha to somewhere here near to this star. So this becomes the Yogatara of Pura Falguni, and this becomes the Yogatara of Uttara Falguni accordingly. So what is Yogatara? Yogatara is something but the primary or or the brightest star in that constellation group. I have given this list several times. 27 nakshatras where you can find the Yogatara's position here. You know, Aries has got two, Bharani, Kritika, and these positions here are nothing but the sidereal positions. Okay, sidereal positions taken from the first point of Aries. Uh, so I've given the position. People must have seen this before too. In some cases, you may see two because there are possibilities like I've seen different scriptures. They have two stars sometimes mentioned. Sometimes here also Amal and Sheraton there are two stars. Punarvasu again two stars. Mostly and others are all one star. So these are all the Yogataras, the name of the stars, which are Yogataras for that particular nakshatra. So and so forth. Nakshatra has also got devatas, because I want to give you the list of devatas too, because there are a lot of properties we have to understand from the devatas, and that's what I will be correlating with it with later. So Ashwini, we know devata is Ashwini Kumaras, Bharani is Yama, Kritika is Agni, Rohini is Brahma, so on and so forth, till Revati is Pushan. So the list of the devatas. So understand what is nakshatra. This class may be, or this talk may be, where you have to have a background of devatas, what qualities, as well as some background of nakshatra qualities. That's what my assumption is, that people may be knowing that. Otherwise, it will be like, okay, I'm just saying it and people have to follow that. That's what it will become. But, but I think from the years of all the nakshatra videos which you have made from a decade, I think people must have realized now typically what qualities of nakshatras are associated. So this is a table I made. I know this is like a bunch of numbers and you will be like, what is all this? And there are like nakshatra, the star, and these are all properties that I'm going to talk about. Now, what are these properties? Let me give you a list. So what are when I say astronomical properties, and I'm going to go through each of them because our group may not be knowing much of astronomy. So distance, one is about the distance I will take. Then I will talk about the radial velocity, proper motion, absolute magnitude, apparent magnitude, mass, radius, and luminosity. So these are all properties of the stars that I'm going to study. And then relate with that with nakshatra and their devata qualities. Distance, what units I'm measuring is light year. You must have studied in school what is a light year. Light year is nothing but the distance traveled by the light in 1 year. This is a distance speed of light, about 300,000 kilometer in 1 second. That's the speed of light. Okay, it's not exactly 300,000, 299,792 kilometers per second. So in 1 year, calculate how many seconds, multiply that with this speed, you will get the distance traveled. And here, I think for a reference, I've given you this distance here, 9.461 times 10 raised to 15 meters. That's the speed of light. So what we are going to do is, we are going to take the yogatara of each nakshatra and see which one is nearest and which one is farthest. Can you guess which one will be nearest and farthest? Just guess.
I think Swati should be for us, right? That's one
Okay,
thing I think.
okay, we'll
Or
see
maybe
what
ours
happens.
also.
Keep that. We'll see.
Or
Okay,
Dhanishta.
okay, fine. I will come to that later.
Yeah, nearest should be Pushya also could be maybe. We'll see.
Why you say Pushya?
Yeah, I think that some guy, the PR Narasimha Rao did the Pushya Bhaksha Ainamsha and all that, right? Some ecliptic thing and all that is there, right? So I think maybe that could be right.
Okay, so that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. We'll see. When we come to the table, then we'll talk about. So distance is clear, how far and how near. Then star has got three types of velocities. Now, what are those three types of velocities? One is the star, how one velocity is whether it is coming towards you or away from you. That's one type of motion, towards and away. Correct? That's fine. The other motion, that's for that motion which is coming towards you and away from you, is called as radial velocity. Okay, radial velocity, radial speed. How far coming towards you or away from you. It is measured in kilometer per second. The other motion, and remember, when star is coming towards you, the radial velocity is going to be negative. When the star is going away from you, it is considered positive. So that's what. So one type of motion is that, towards and away. Towards
So what do you
negative,
mean it's coming towards us? Like as in the star is coming towards us?
towards the earth,
Okay.
towards us. Or if
Okay, that makes
going away means going away from us. See, it's all
okay.
random. When you see in the sky, everything is in a random motion.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So
Makes
that's
sense.
one type of motion. The other type of motion is when you see in the sky, one motion will be north-south, and other motion will be east-west. That also is one motion. So basically three axes, when you do in physics, X, Y, and Z axis. So one axis is towards and away. The other is in the sky, in the plane of the sky, east-west or north-south. That east-west or north-south, east-west is the RA shift, how much the angle is shifting in the sky, because everything in the sky you're measuring with respect to what angle it is making. At the horizon, the angle is 0, then at the zenith, the angle is 90. So everything you're measuring in angles. So it will be east-west and north-south. I don't know, my hands will be visible. So that's one motion, but that's in the sky. That is proper motion. In the plane of the sky, you are measuring. And the third motion is that radial velocity, which I spoke. So there are three motions. Did everyone
Aditya,
get it? Yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to throw my dice there for you
Yeah.
asked a question. So I was just looking at my notes. Is Shravana Nakshatra the nearest and
That,
Mragashira the farthest?
that is correct. How do you know that? From where did you get that?
That's my calculations I was doing, something else. Anyway,
Okay. But yeah, I will talk about that. But yeah,
talk about that.
Shravana
No, I just
Nakshatra.
wanted to throw my dice because see, I have not done the calculations like what you have done to all of these, but I had something else to calculate. Anyway, I'll talk about
When
it later.
when the slide comes, put your point at that time.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that answer is right. Anyway, so that's proper motion. I think, is that proper motion radial velocity concept clear? Radial velocity is towards and away.
Yeah,
Proper motion
makes
is
sense.
east west and north south. East west is
There's
how
like
Togi,
three different
this is
motions.
really good. It's actually very
Okay.
Yeah.
clear, very clear.
So it's like one is going towards us and away from, other like going up and down, other like left and right.
Correct. That up and down, left and right, both are called as proper motion.
Proper motion. Okay. So one is like what you call as RA is basically left and right, and up and down is declination.
Yeah.
DC, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And the units are milli-arc second per second. So that's what we measure in terms of angle. The third property, which is apparent and absolute magnitude. Now, what does apparent and absolute? Now, a star can be very bright, but it can be very far. So what will happen? You will think that the brightest star is the most dimmest because of its distance. Correct? So that means there are two magnitudes given. Now, in astronomy, when a star has got a smaller magnitude, it is more brighter. Which is the brightest object in the sky? Sun. The sun magnitude is minus 26 something. It's the brightest, minus 26. The full moon is about minus 12. Venus is about minus 4, minus 4, minus 5. So you see, numbers more and more positive means less brighter. So in magnitude scale, higher the number, less brighter. It's fainter. Now we need two types of magnitude numbers. One is apparent. Apparent is what? How does it look? We are not worried about the distance. How does it look? This one is brighter, we will assign a number. This one is less brighter, we will assign a positive number. There's a relation, but how do? We measure the fluxes and all that, but let's not go into all those details. That is apparent. Apparent means what it looks like. There's another which is called as absolute. Now, absolute magnitude. Now, if I ask you how to find the brightest star, what you will do, you will keep all the stars at the same distance, and then you will test which one is brightest. And that will be the real brightness. That will be the real value actually, because now you are removing the distance effect. So what is absolute magnitude? You assume that all the stars at this distance, 10 parsec, which is 32.6 light years. Now don't ask me why they have kept this number, but that is one constant distance. If you keep this object at that, it's not only for stars, it's for galaxies, it's for any object. If you keep this at this distance, one constant distance of 32.6 light years, which one will look more brighter? And based on that, this number is given, absolute magnitude. So absolute magnitude is the real brightness. Apparent is what you see. And apparent is affected by the distance. So far good? Okay. I think, and then the other qualities are mass, radius, and luminosity. Mass means how much massive. Mass, simple. If it is 2 times mass, and we measure in terms of our sun mass. Whenever I write M and this symbol is used for sun. Okay, so if it is 2 times M sun, that means it is 2 times more massive than the sun. If it is 100 times 100 solar mass, that means 100 times more massive than sun. So we always use the mass of the sun as standard value. So mass means how much massive. Radius means how much big radius. That too also we measure in terms of solar radius. Okay. And luminosity, now this is one word. Luminosity means how bright the star is. Depends upon how much energy. It's like, you go to a Walmart, you purchase a 100-watt bulb and a 20-watt bulb. We know 100-watt bulb is more brighter, 5 times more brighter than 20 watts. And that also we measured in luminosity. So luminosity means how bright the star is. And that also we measure in terms of solar luminosity. So mass, radius, and solar luminosity. So these are the qualities. So let me see. So distance we understood, how far, close in measuring light years. Radial velocity, whether it is coming towards us or away from us. Towards is negative, away is positive. Proper motion is east, west, north, south. Magnitude, absolute and apparent. Absolute is actually the real, the correct value when it is kept at 32.6 light years. Apparent is what we see from our eye, where the distance can play a role. And then the other three are mass, radius, luminosity. How massive, how big, massive is mass, how big, radius, and how luminous, how much energy is giving out.
So what is the difference between luminosity and apparent magnitude kind of thing?
Luminosity will directly go with absolute magnitude.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because absolute magnitude is, so there is a clear relation between absolute and luminosity. So that's correct, yes. Because apparent you cannot say anything because they must be at different distance, things are all different then. So absolute magnitude is what the magnitude, how bright when it is kept at the same distance. So if it is more luminous, absolute magnitude will be much lower in number because lower number much more brighter, right? So absolute magnitude and luminosity is directly related. Good question, and you got the right thing, yes. But we are not going into equations and all that we don't need. But these are the qualities that we are going to work on. Okay. So now let's go to the table. This is the table. I know the numbers may look. Now, if I give you this column is distance. Let's understand which is the closest star. You see this? Shravana. Shravana is 16.73 light years. So Shravana is closest to us. If you say which stars are the farthest, one is Ardra. Ardra is Betelgeuse, 408 to 548. So it's like the distance changer. Ardra is, the Betelgeuse is about 500 times, 500 light years away. Similarly, Antares is also very far. Mula, the Yogatar of Mula also 570. I have marked Lambda Orionis, which is very weird star. So this time I'm not going to take much Mula. Not Mula, Lambda Orionis Mrigashira thing, which Dr. Pai was saying. But yes, note, Shravana is clearly the nearest and Mrigashira is the farthest. Not Mrigashira, we can say Betelgeuse or Antares. They also have their own errors. So these are the farthest. It's interesting to see Betelgeuse and Antares, they are like opposite. And both are almost 550 around light years away. That's one thing. Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's interesting. Shravana, as you said, Shravana is the closest. What is immediately after Shravana though? What comes after Shravana?
what comes after Shravana? Oh, the second nearest
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
asking.
yeah.
You have to find here in this table. What is the second? I did not mark
So that
which
is
second.
33. Kunawasu is 33.
Uttara
Uttara Falguni is
Falguni and
35.
Swati.
Oh, Swati is okay. Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay,
Swati and Uttara
36 for
Falguni.
Swati. Uttara Falguni is
Yeah,
58. Uttara Falguni is 35 actually. Okay, that's interesting.
yeah,
Ravana is actually 16. So that's much more
much
closer.
more.
Okay.
Okay, so far good. So that's one thing we have learned. Shravana is the closest. Pay attention to Shravana. I will come to it. Okay, so 16.73. So all these stars are in the range between 16 and about 500 light years. You can, on an average, these are all the distances of all the Yogataras. So that's one thing we have learned. Second thing we will go is radial velocities. Now let's see about the radial velocity. You go in this, the radial velocity is this column. I have marked all the negative radial velocities in this yellow background. Okay, all this negative in this yellow background. It's very interesting to see what is the Yogatara of, or what is the deity of Ashwini Kumaras. Who are
Right,
they?
yeah.
They are the son of the sun god.
Horse god also, right? Yeah, horse god. So,
Horse gods. Purva Falguni, who is the deity?
Aryaman, Mitra, and all that.
Aryaman,
Yeah.
Aryaman,
Yeah.
Bhaga,
Bhaga, yeah.
Bhaga
Yeah.
Savitur,
listed
Bhag,
in some.
Right.
Aryaman is mentioned
yeah.
in other texts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chitra Twashtar, he is also an Aditya.
Yeah.
Swat,
Oh, interesting.
Swati is wind god, but not Aditya, but still wind god.
Hmm.
And then Indra, Vishaka, Indragni,
And that
Anuradha, Ra,
is.
Indra again. Yeah, Niritti is there. But you see, most of the Adityas are all there.
Hmm.
And they all have negative velocities. Means what? Coming towards us.
Interesting.
And who is farthest? Which is has got the highest positive number, if you see in this column. This guy,
16.
Ashlesha.
Oh, Aditya.
No,
Oh,
no,
interesting.
Ashlesha.
Oh, okay.
Rohini, Rohini.
Rohini,
Rohini
Rohini,
also.
Rohini.
Rohini also.
Rohini.
Ashlesha also.
Yeah.
And you see, all those are what? And this is also 22, Ardra, Rudra. And even Dhanishta is got negative. Dhanishta Ashtavasus. So all elements of nature which gives life, they're all very close. Of course, the Pushan doesn't come here, but I'm seeing that which is very useful. Vayu and Ashwini Kumaras and all Adityas. Adityas are all basic light,
So
sun.
amongst the Adityas, only Pushan is like farther away, right? Is that right?
Yeah, it is going at a larger velocity away from us. It's a traveler, no?
Right.
But and life, which is Ashlesha is what? Sarpas, poison. It has got the highest radial velocity. Rudra, Ardra, another thing. Brahma, which is again for Rohini. Somehow I'm seeing this. I don't know. This is very weak correlation, but I see that there is something going on here.
Yeah, Brahma is actually considered to be the top of the universe, right? Anyway,
Correct.
so yeah, makes sense also. Brahma Loka kind of thing also interesting actually.
So that's the second thing which I saw. Elements of nature which supports coming towards us. So that was one thing. Yeah, Brahma, Ardra, and Brihaspati, Sarpa, they have all got very high. Now let's see what is proper motion. These two columns of a proper motion. You see which one has got the highest proper motion? This guy.
Oh, Swati,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
Swati has got the highest proper motion, and
So
the
that
next
means,
comes is Shravana.
yeah. So when you're saying proper motion, this is the movement across the sky, right? Or
Across the
like
sky, not towards or away, but in the plane of the sky.
the plane. Okay.
See,
Interesting.
that's why Swati, who is the deity of Swati?
Vayu. Yeah. Mhm.
Highest speed.
Mhm.
What is Shravana? Who is the deity?
Vishnu. Yeah.
And what is it doing? Mapping the three skies, space.
Mhm.
And these two stars apparently have got of course, negative and positive. That is east, west is negative and the south is negative in the declination column here and in the array. But what can you say about Swati, which will think? Because Swati, remember, the star is far away from the ecliptic too. We have said that several times.
Yeah.
And it makes sense, Swati and Shravana to have the highest proper motion. And that's what we see exactly. And these are all data, scientific data. You cannot, this
Yeah.
is what we have measured.
Shravana is actually traveling also, right? So more
Traveling
travel and all
also.
that makes sense
Yes.
also.
Yeah.
So that means that is Swati and Shravana is actually fastest moving in the sky also with the star from the
Yeah.
Yogatara perspective as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
If
is
you
the third one after these two things?
forget, you find out. Find out from this. But I'm just highlighting those, I
Oh,
did not
497
remember.
is Uttarfalgi again. Uttarfalgi is interesting actually. It's actually minus
No,
497 after
but then
that.
again, you have to take both because it is, that's only not one aspect. East, west, and north,
Oh,
south too. So in that way.
so you'll have to calculate both. Are you combining both when you're saying this thing?
No,
Or
when
you have to look at both?
right now I'm not combining. I'm just saying east west. But you see, even in east, RA is for the east west and a
Right.
declination. Both these two stars have stood up in that. It's clear.
Okay. Oh, that's a good point actually. So upward movement could be different, right, left-right movement could be different
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
What happens when you
Oh, yeah.
combine both the vector kind of thing?
Everything is different.
That's interesting actually.
So far,
This is
good?
great. Yeah, yeah. So Shravana and Swati having more speed,
Yeah.
as you said. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Now let's see what is the next property. The next property is brightest stars. Now, brightest stars will be this two is the first column here is absolute magnitude, and the second here is apparent magnitude. Now, lower the number, brighter it is. So let's talk about absolute magnitude. Absolute is a real because when you're keeping at the same distance. Now, which one has got the highest absolute or more brighter? This one, minus 5.85. And then this one, Jeshta. Ardra and Jeshta are with the highest or lowest absolute magnitude, means brightest. They are really very bright stars. We know Betelgeuse is going to end their life. Actually, why? Because it's very bright. It has giving up a lot of energy, so it is going to die soon. Okay. And apparent magnitude also, if you see, the apparent magnitude is lowest. Apparent magnitude is what we see from the eye. Swati is with the lowest number. Mine it's almost zero, negative 0.05. And then this comes 0.5. Others are all like higher numbers, all positive numbers, if you see. So when you look, Swati looks the brightest.
Could you explain that a little more? The apparent magnitude with
Apparent magnitude is what you see, because now the distance comes into picture, right? So Swati is basically very near, so it looks more brighter than compared to Betelgeuse. Because
Okay.
Betelgeuse is much farther. But again, Betelgeuse is also not less, but still it is the second brightest. And we know what is Ardra and Jeshta. These are the two stars. What is that? Transformation themes. The first one will die is Betelgeuse, the second one to die is Antares, Jeshta, among the nakshatras.
Okay. So they are actually dying. That's the
They are
other
dying.
thing. They die
They are
soon.
dying. Yeah.
Okay.
They are transformation, brightest. I think, I don't know who is going to take. Maybe Ardra is going to die or Jeshta. Almost, they say, I think the studies say that first, and Betelgeuse is almost very near to his death stage. The next one is Antares.
It's interesting because Ardra is the third house. Betelgeuse, the other thing, Jeshta is like eighth house. Death. Eighth
Yeah,
house
yeah.
is the third house is like Bhavadbam or the
Oh,
third
yeah.
house also. Eighth house,
That I did
eighth
not
house.
talk about. Good
Yeah,
point. Yeah,
third house is the Bhavadbam or the eighth house kind of thing. So that's
correct.
interesting from that perspective. Yeah.
Correct. So a lot of transformation themes matching very well with their magnitude, the brightness. More energy you give out, the more early you die.
Right. Yeah.
Let's talk about the mass. Mass, this is 14 solar mass, and this is about 13. Now, there's a clear, in science, we know if it is more massive, you will give more energy, you will die soon. So, heavier stars die early. So, that makes sense. So, Ardra is 14 times massive than the sun. This is also about 13, some say 15, 16, about same. So, these both stars are same, around very highly massive.
So Aditya, you did not cover the lowest brightness thing for the thing, the apparent magnitude, lowest star. Is there anything like that? You mentioned the brightest star and the lowest. It should be the lowest brightness thing for the apparent magnitude, or is there anything like that?
Lowest, I did not do that right now. You could do this. It looks like this. Bharani. I think that's what Bharani looks the lowest. If you take 35 area, it is 4.64.
4.64 is lowest. So Barney is the lowest in the lowest apparent
It's very
magnitude.
faint. It's very
Very
faint.
faint.
Very faint.
And in
Dharni and even Shatabisha looks very faint. Higher the number, very faint.
higher the number
Even
faint. Okay.
Revati, Zeta Piscium, 5.2. That's
Oh,
the faintest, I guess.
every is faint. Is interesting.
That's the faintest.
Okay. So that's the faintest in the apparent magnitude. In the absolute magnitude, it should be similar, right?
Absolute magnitude, which is the highest number. Just see here. Maybe, I don't know. We need to find the highest number in a.
1.97 is there.
Yeah, again,
1.9
Revati.
Okay.
Again, Revati comes up.
So Revati is the least brightest kind of thing as well, right?
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Aditya. Yeah.
Yeah. Now see their mass radius. You see this radius, Ardra is about 700 times bigger than the sun in size. Same thing with Jeshta, 680, 700 times bigger. So, Jyeshtha comes from the word what? Jyeshtha means what? Eldest. Is that eldest in mass, eldest in size? I think if you put Betelgeuse in the place of sun, or even maybe Ardra in place of a sun, I think it will eat all the way till Mars. The orbit is so huge. Instead of sun, if you keep that star, that orbit, the radius will be still going. I think we are what, 200 times the radius of sun approximately. So it will go beyond the mass orbit of Mars. It's that huge. See, that's what happens when a star dies. What it does is it expands. It becomes huge. That's what they are in ICU. We were all talking about that, correct? ICU. So it's like it expands, and then that's what happened. That's how stars die. So it has expanded. That's why it's called red giant.
Togi Ji,
So,
don't they get down to, there's some kind of consuming of helium, and then they get
oh
down to
yeah, yeah.
iron. They get down
Yes,
to the iron core, something of that sort. I
yes,
remember this.
yes, yes.
And that's
So
when they
what?
actually just die.
They become
Yeah,
the
yeah,
white dwarf kind of thing, right? Some dwarf thing happens and then they
Yeah,
die,
white
right?
dwarf, and then and then there's something about the iron. They get down to that, and then they just,
yeah.
I
What
I
happens is
can't
first you have
remember.
hydrogen. Hydrogen is fusing to form helium, but one day hydrogen gets over. So what happens? Only the helium is left. So gravity then collapses to form carbon, oxygen, and all. And in the meantime, they are also pulsating. So it is that stage. Finally, a stage will come where helium, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen will come finally form into iron core. And after iron, you cannot fuse it. So what happens? Gravity will just collapse it, and that all that shells which was there will be thrown in the space, and that iron core will be lying. And that iron core, if the star is too heavy, for example, like Betelgeuse or Antares, it is 14 times, 15 times sun mass, it will turn into a black hole. Yeah, and that
Okay.
explosion is called supernova.
Supernova, yeah. Okay.
And
So that's what.
Aditya, is there also a concept in astronomy to know the brightest star by looking at the color? Like blue is the brightest or newest star,
The
and red is
temperature.
the oldest star, the temperature of the star.
Redshift thing, right? Yeah.
Uh,
Orange, white, blue.
true. What happens is then it depends upon, yeah, the temperature. The orange or the red has got the lowest temperature, and the bluish and the whitish are got the highest
Highest
temperature.
temperature. So that means
So
they're more newer than the,
yeah,
like Antares is a red, and
Antares
your
is red. Now
and
there are
Betelgeuse
red
is
means
red.
there are two reds now. The two types the red color will come. One is when the star expands, it gets cools, and because of that, it becomes red. That is one stage. Or so that's what is happening to Antares. That's what you see red. Or the some stars will automatically be cool, intrinsically cool, such as Aldebaran.
Right, because
Aldebaran,
Rohini is also red, but it's not in the
Rohini is
same
also
state
red.
as
Yes.
Geist
Yeah.
or Beetlejuice.
Betelgeuse, yeah.
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 But remember, Jeshta is cool because of it's dying, so it has expanded, it's become cool. So that's a death stage cool. But this Rohini itself is cool. So that's why it looks red. So both look red, but the red comes from a different effect. Okay. Anyway, look at a lot of
Man,
science
that's
here.
like that's great stuff, man. Like what you're sharing is like brilliant stuff. Just want to
Yeah,
say
it's like
that.
I've
Very
never,
basic.
never done. And Jeshta is that's why I see that's why they call Jeshta probably. That's why it is dying, and it is so huge. Almost
Yeah.
giving a competition to Betelgeuse because Betelgeuse pulsates, so it's very difficult whether it's 640 or so. That's the range of radius. So that's why it is called Jeshta. We don't know.
One ordinary question that will come is that can we correlate with the Vimshatiri Dasha Grahas and all that? But I think better correlation will be the Devatas and all that, right? Rather
Yeah,
than looking at the
can be. I've just made this.
yeah.
I just found this is interesting. We can do more research into
With
this.
Shravan, it is very interesting.
Yeah, because
Yeah, I will come
Shravan
to
is
that. I will
interesting.
come. I will.
Okay, okay.
Shravan is a
I've been
case.
contemplating as you've been
Yeah.
talking, and it's
Shravan is
very
a case.
interesting with Shravan.
And remember now the next thing which I marked is when the both the stars and the radius are very similar to sun. So I have marked them in the green. I've taken a number which is less than 3.5. So if the both the properties are less than 3.5 times in the range, I have marked them as green. So this is one star, Ashwini star, you see. The mass is like two times the mass of the sun, radius is 2.12 times. So very
Right.
similar to sun. And Ashwini
Right.
Kumaras comes from the family of
Sun, yeah. It's
sun,
Suryaputra. Yeah. Even
Suryaputra. Bharani, Yama. Suryaputra.
Mhm.
Punarvasu, Aditi,
Aditi. Mhm.
mother of Adityas.
Yeah.
Purva Falguni,
Yeah.
Aryaman Bhaga, Uttara Falguni also.
Yeah.
Savitur. Then I did not get Chitra here, but Vishaka Indra. You can think of Indra. Then Shravana is again Vamana, Vishnu, correct? Shatabisha is Varuna, again Aditya. And this is Pushan. You see, all Adityas,
Yeah.
except Chitraya, getting almost most of them. All families of sun, very similar to the mass and radius.
Oh, that's interesting. So you're calling all the Adityas, what we call as stars, Adityas are literally having similar to sun kind of
Similar,
thing.
exactly. Now
Right.
let's do this luminosity. Now, which luminosity is the highest? I marked now. Lambda Orionis was very odd, so I'm not going to talk. Ardra has got the highest
What is luminosity again, Aditya, just for the
luminosity
viewers?
is how bright the star, how much energy is given out. How much energy is given out. So Ardra is given a lot of energy, and Antares, you see, this is about 70, 80,000 times more luminous than the sun. So it is 80,000 times more brighter than the sun, our own sun. 80,000, remember. And these are more brighter. And you see these stars here, all Anuradha stars, 31,000, 38,000, Mula, all the stars in Scorpio are all very high luminosity. Remember, even Mitra is also an Aditya, but Mitra did not get mass and radius similar to Sun. So that's also one caveat. Mitra and Chitra did not fit that mass and radius of Adityas, like in the Sun group. Now, this it's interesting to see that all the stars in the Scorpio constellation have a very high luminosity. What is Scorpio? Transformation, turbulence. And it's interesting to see Anuradha stars, Jeshta star, and even and if you see Mula comes under Sagittarius, but you know, Mula is also that may be a picture which I must have put here. You see, Mula, this is the Mula stars. It is well within the Scorpio constellation. So all the stars of Scorpio has got very high luminosity. So that's what I have marked here in blue, in written in blue. And the blue background is stars with the lowest luminosity. Which is the lowest? Vishaka and Shravana is the second one. They are all like 3 times, 10 times. Okay, with blue background, it has got low luminosity scale. I have marked with what I have done is blue background means all stars with less than 40 times. And all the numbers are more than 30,000 times the solar luminosity. Now let's take the case of Shravana, as I was saying. What is Shravana? What are the properties of Shravana? Shravana is distance closest. That's one property. Minus 26.1. That means it is fastly coming towards us. Out of all the Yogataras, I think it has got the highest negative, right?
Right,
It has
yeah.
the highest
Yeah.
negative. It's fastly
That's
coming
correct.
towards us. It has got the second largest proper motion after Swati. It's 2.22 is the absolute magnitude. Now, 2.22 is very close to our sun's absolute magnitude. So sun's absolute magnitude is plus 4. Absolute, I'm talking, not apparent, absolute. Plus 4 point, very close to the sun's property, very close to the sun's mass, almost similar to sun's radius. Luminosity is 10 times, but still in this scale of like where it goes from 10 to what, 30,000 and all, it's still very close to the luminosity of sun. All the properties of Shravana's Yogatara is very similar to our sun in terms of mass, in terms of radius, in terms of absolute magnitude, coming close to us at a very high speed, the closest star. And who is the deity of Shravana?
Vishnu, right? Vishnu comes close to us, Avatara and all, takes
Is
Avatar.
that why Vishnu?
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense, yeah. Perfectly well. When after death also, right? Vishnu Loka, Narayan kind of thing they say, right? So
Yeah,
collective thing. You go to death, you go to Vishnu's world after death and all that.
correct. So I was confused. I was like, did they select because of that? Is this the reason why Vishnu or everything is so So common, similar mass, size, absolute magnitude closest to us, highest negative value, second highest proper motion, very close to our, out of all the stars, very close in resemblance and all those to our sun. So finally, the question comes for me, how our ancient seers determine the qualities of nakshatras which are in such a close alignment with their astronomical properties? That's the question to us. I don't know the answer. This is what I did. Now we know about all those because we have measured using the spectral lines and we are trying to, that's how we got all this information from kilometer per second and how far, how this, but how they did that, I don't know. That's one has to think. But that's what I had. These are the main points of the talk, which I just thought I will put it here. But this was an effort which I thought maybe I will just discuss because no one has ever talked about these astronomical properties and how they correlate with nakshatras. Did they know this? Or universe works in, I don't know how. These are the scientific properties which we have measured. You cannot change it. And this is what we see.
Aditya, could you just repeat what you just said, just for those people who are like maybe listening to the video and not looking at the video and all that? Like, what
Yeah.
are the final conclusion you have? Yeah.
Conclusion. So the nearest star is Shravana's Yogatara, which is 16.73 light years. And the farthest is Betelgeuse, Jyeshtha, and Mula. That's what. So our range of Yogataras are within 16.73 to about these stars are about 550 light years. So that's the range. Shravana is closest. Among all the Yogataras of nakshatras, Shravana nakshatra has got the closest to us. The second is Yogataras of Ashwini and from Purva Falguni to Bhadrapada nakshatra. All those stars are having negative radial velocity. That means they are all coming towards us. And that means they are all basically, like for example, if you take Dhanishta, Ashtavasu, they are basically elements of life, elements of, and Adityas, most of them are Adityas, they are deities. So elements of nature, elements of light, which supports life, has got the highest negative radial velocities coming towards us. Positive radial velocities are for Ardra, Brahm, and Rohini.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And they are all surpass, basically. Ashlesha is surpass, poison.
Mhm.
So they are not supporting the elements of nature. Swati and Shravana Yogataras are with highest proper motion. What is Swati? Vayu, wind. Shravana, spanning the sky, which makes sense that they will have a something more like of travel and all those themes will be there, and they got the highest proper motion. Yogataras of Ardra and Jyeshtha are with highest mass, radius, and luminosities. That's what we have seen. So they are going through a transformation. They are going to the ones who are going to die soon. And the themes that are attached with Rudra and Jyeshtha's deities, what Indra and all those, people go through transformation. That's what we see. Yoga taras of nakshatra in Scorpio sign, whether it is a yoga tara of Anuradha or Jyeshtha or Mula, they have all have highest luminosities. Shows a lot of turbulence, maybe.
So that's interesting. So what does that higher luminosity mean? Like it means it's about to die or kind of thing?
It's not about die, it gives out a lot of energy.
A lot of energy.
Lot of energy. Highest luminosity is also correlated to their age, no doubt.
Mhm.
Yes. But lot of transformation, you can say. In a way,
So
you
they
can
are
say.
going through, they are in the transformation stage for sure, no matter what,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All stars with Adityas as their deities and family of the sun, like Ashwini Kumaras, are with similar mass and size of our own sun. That's why they are Adityas. Who knows?
Yeah, that's a brilliant thing. Like the 12 Adityas and all having similar thing is a big point. Yeah.
Only Chitra did not match and Mitra did not match. And the last point was Shravana has got the closest property to our sun, and that's why maybe the deity is Vishnu. I don't know. Very interesting, right? I never thought this was first time I did it, and I was like, okay, that sounds. It just apparently I was doing that. I said, okay, let me do it for so many years pending. I think that's what I have for today.
What are the other slides, Aditya, just to see what you concluded? Was we talked about that, like the other slides?
Oh, this is the same thing which I was talking. I am just made the slide, but it is. highest proper motion was Swati and Shravana. This is just a slide, but I was just talking. I did not show those.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just an explanation.
Highest promotion for Swati. So Swati is so just to conclude again, Swati and Shravana is again having the highest. So more movement kind of thing in the sky for
Correct.
Swati, Shravana,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So highest
And
like is the Swati having more both you accounted here, right? Both the left and right and up and down, both you're looking.
correct. Correct.
Okay. Uh-huh. Right.
Yeah. No, the
What
same
are
point. I did not show the slide. I was just talking,
yeah.
showing the table. So that's what I did.
Okay. Yeah, just slide will help out a lot to it, people to think and ponder, make sense, So what are the next slide? Yeah,
The
the
brightest stars, apparent magnitude. I was just talking about that. So that's transformation themes.
Rudra and Nirti both are going to die soon amongst the. So Rudra, maybe just like how you did the Aditya thing, might be worthwhile to see the Rudra correlations. Rudra Nakshatra, we have only 3-4 thing, right? Like the Nirti, Rudra, and Uttarabhadrapada, Aharbunni, and all that are the Rudras in the thing, right? So what is the similarity between them would be worthwhile to
I did
additional research.
not do that. What is the similarity
Yeah,
between those
yeah, of course,
things?
future topic, yeah, for sure, yeah, definitely. That'll be interesting to look into also. Just like how we did the Aditya group, right? We had the other Rudra group kind of thing going on. Interesting to see on that regard what happens. But yeah.
Yeah.
Aditya, I think this is a very, very, very interesting topic that you have taken up. You summarized excellently. Now, here some observations and probably for some future work that we can also think about doing it. First of all, one thing that I saw, and you know why I gave a guesswork there?
Yeah.
I told you about the guesswork. See, what I was thinking, maybe astronomers have actually given names to each of these Yogataras, and wherever I have seen alpha coming in, and then if you see for Mrigashira, it is Lambda Orionis,
Mm-hmm.
and Alpha, Aquila,
Correct.
which means
Yeah.
it is the eagle. So the
Eagle.
eagle Garuda is flying towards us in Shravana Nakshatra at the fastest rate after Swati. Now, interestingly, what you will see here is after Shravana is what we call as the Panchaka Nakshatra. They are associated with Akasha Tattva, Dhanishta, then, Purva
Satabhisha.
Bhadrapada, Satabhishak, Uttara Bhadrapada, and Revati. These 5 nakshatras which come consecutively after Shravana are called as the Akash Tattva. Right? And
Yeah.
if you see, it is Vayu who is ruling. So you know the formula how the nakshatras are mapped to the tattvas. First 5 are Prithvi, which means till Mragashira.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next 6 are associated with Jala, starting from Ardra and ending up with the, I think, what is 6 from Ardra?
Purva
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Purva Falguni. From Uttara Falguni, up till 5 again. 5, 6, 5, 6, 5. So it is Agni, which means from Uttara Falguni, 5 stars is Agni.
Mm-hmm.
Uttara Falguni, Hasta, Chitra, Swati, Vishaka. Okay. Then from Anuradha to Shravana is Vayu.
Okay.
Next 6. And last 5 is Akash. So one classification we can do that way. Now, the other thing very interesting that I found in my nakshatra study is, remember you have done a course astronomy for
Yeah.
Vedic.
Yeah. Long 2018.
Long back.
2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That table was very helpful because it was giving me declination. Now, when you
Yeah.
look at the declination, you have from the ecliptic, you can see certain stars are coming above them. Do you have that slide if you can show? And certain stars are coming below. So you will see Swati, Dhanishta, Shravana are all very high in the northern part of the ecliptic, north of the ecliptic declination. Abhijit is minus 62 declination, which means the farthest. Then Dhanishta, then Swati, then Shravana. Pushya and Revati are very close to the ecliptic.
Yep.
And Ardra on the southern side is the farthest, minus 16, I think. If you have that slide, very interestingly, you can show that to people. And that comes when I started studying, when the classification of the nakshatras are done as Stira, Chara, Mridhu. All of that will give you a different flavor. You will see the study nakshatras on one side. You will see the Mridu nakshatras are, so you will have a greater understanding of how that classification is done from multiple places. And this research will add beautifully as a precursor to that. And I saw a pattern there, which means Stira nakshatras are coming more to the south. I don't remember my analysis, but I'm just saying from the declination table, I saw that the rishis actually saw that Stira nakshatras are coming here, Mridu nakshatras, Chara nakshatras. So remember, Swati is a Chara nakshatra. Shravana is a Chara nakshatra. Dhanishta is a Chara nakshatra. Chara means what? It is moving very fast. Do you see what I mean?
True.
So why can't we bring that element to also show with these data points, which is beautifully put, we can actually teach students in a better way. Like for example, Swati is Chara. But Swati, as I said, is also falls till Vishaka. I said it is controlled by Agni.
Correct.
Anuradha to Shravana is Vayu. Right?
Yes.
So I think we would be able to do a lot of good studies related to this if you can. Okay, Santhip, I can share my screen.
Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Pai. Yeah.
Okay, that is Aditya's slide. Can you see this? So I've given you the Yogadharas, and this is a slide from also below, understanding astrology through astronomy, right? Now, if you see here, Pushya, this is the ecliptic. Okay. So if you see Pushya and Revati are almost on the ecliptic. This is the declination. That's what you were saying. What is declination? Moving north and south is the declination. Now, if you see here, Abhijit, the declination is 62, which means plus 62 means it is north.
Yeah.
Dhanishta, 32. So can you actually see, Dhanishta, Shravana, and Swati are, the declination is very high from the ecliptic. Ecliptic is the path of the sun. Now, on the southern side of the ecliptic path of the sun, Ardra is the farthest away. That's why he is called as an outcast, or a Rudra is an outlaw. He's been outlawed, outcast. That's why they say that Ardra means very different, because they are too far away from the original source of light that we believe. Pushya and Revati are very close. Satabhishak is close. Anuradha is closed.
Yeah, Vishaka, Maga. You see
Now,
that.
can you see here? So Ashwini, Kritika, Magha, Vishaka, Pushya, they are very, very close to the ecliptic. So that is why you will see a lot of associations with the Adityas coming when they are closer. Maybe this will also help you, Aditya, if you do this. And can you see Mragashira, Lambda Orionis is very far, declination wise. Ardra and Mragashira. So Mragashira is the farthest most, as well as declination wise is also very far.
Correct. Declination is north-south. Yeah. So
Yes, north-south.
Abhijit is the northernmost, and
Yes,
Ardra
Abhijit is the
will be the
northernmost and
southernmost.
Ardra is the southernmost.
Southernmost.
Isn't it fascinating? That's why Abhijit means, even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, amongst all the stars, I am Abhijit. So look at the declination, that is, from 32 to 62. Nobody can even go and catch up with Abhijit. Right? So this was a very fantastic table. And from this, I don't have the real slides now, but I'm just saying you can actually see the classification of nakshatra from this table, which nakshatras, what we say, Chara nakshatras, Mridu nakshatras, Sthira nakshatras, Okay,
Yeah.
Tikshna Nakshatra, right? Ugra Nakshatra. So you will get a pattern from this, just the declination. And that was very, very surprising for me. Like Rohini is a Sthira Nakshatra. Okay. All Purva Nakshatras are Ugra Nakshatras. So you can see, you'll see Purva Phalguni, Purva Bhadrapada is more in the northern, and Purva Ashada is in the south. Now, if you see Rohini and all, Uttara Nakshatras, right? Uttara Bhadrapada, Uttara Phalguni is here, and Uttara Ashada and Rohini is here. So that means they are very balanced. Two of the Sthira Nakshatras are in the north, two of the Sthira Nakshatras are in the south. That means they're balancing it, Sthira. So Chara Nakshatras, which are Chara Nakshatras? Dhanishta, Swati, Shravana. Satabhishak is one here. Punarvasu is also there. Is a Chara Nakshatra. So you see more Chara Nakshatras in the northern part of the ecliptic.
Yeah, it was, see, this is about the astronomical properties. When I was planning to do it, was at that time I was planning, but I never did. It only happened now. Much more into deeper. I said, okay, this looks much more interesting, with their masses and distance, how far, how
Okay.
close. We never talk about distances. So,
Now, one more research. Now, based on the luminosity or the speed, like we have different systems, right? We have Kritikadi, which means we start the nakshatra scheme from Kritika. Ashwinadi, you start from Ashwini. Ardradi, you start from Ardra. What about starting it from Shravana? Because that's the one which is fastest coming towards us. So why can't we have a system which starts from Shravanadri? So my another research topic is, when will the vernal equinox happen in Shravana Nakshatra? How many more years? Today the vernal equinox is in Uttara Bhadrapada.
Uttara Bhadrapada, correct. So, and it is what, 6 degrees, right? Yeah, it is at 6 degrees of Pisces, right?
So
Where
every
does the Shravana, where does Shravana,
72 years, 1 degree, it is going to come
yeah,
back.
so where does Shravana ends? It ends at Capricorn, 23 degree, right?
26 degrees. 26 degrees.
23 degree.
Yeah, 20
23.
minutes.
Yeah, so 23 degree, 20 minutes. So we have
23
around
degrees, 20
7.
minutes. Yeah, 23 degrees, 20 minutes.
So
And
7
today it's
degrees,
6 degrees.
7 plus 6, 13, 13 plus 30, 43, 43 times 72.
43 times 72.
Yeah.
So maybe there could be huge transformation by that time. And
3,000
how
years
close?
from now.
1396, 3096 years from now.
Yeah.
And that time I would be interested in knowing where would Shravan Nakshatra be, how close it will be to the earth.
See, Togiji, that I'm just in deep contemplation here because the stars, they're moving. So even
Correct.
when we use these simulation programs, they could have been drifting, like when we try to map the Kali Yuga or
Correct.
something. We can't guarantee that the grahas are actually in that position, right? Is that correct? So
The
everything's in motion, everything's
motion.
everything's pulling on each other.
Correct.
So when we're using these programs, we're doing the best we can, but it might not be precise.
Can be. No.
Is this
Yeah.
correct? Okay, I'm just
Yeah.
making sure I
Correct.
have that understanding.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Yeah.
See, Evji, there was another thing that I was discussing with Aditya once. Okay. And I think Santhip was there also, probably. See, one of the things that I always contemplated based on the system of yugas by Yukteswar Giri. So that inspired me to think, see, the sun does revolutions around the center of our galactic center, right? And do you know how long it takes for the sun to go once around the galactic center?
Yeah.
225 million years.
Yep.
And sun has already gone 20 times. And it will go another 23 times before it dies.
Yeah.
It has already gone around and when Aditya told me, yes, but it is not a linear motion. The sun is moving in a sinusoidal motion it is moving, and it is taking all the planets along with its like a tail, like a helical helix,
Well, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Now
yeah.
the question is, are we on the ascend when you are going through Satyuga and other things? And the closer you go to the center of the galaxy, we are actually going in a way when we are farthest away from the center of the galaxy, because you can think of it like a, what do you call it, oblong, no, what is that called,
Elliptical, slightly elliptical or orbiter.
elliptical, and the center of the galaxy is somewhere far away. When you are Kali Yuga, that means you are farthest away from the center of the galaxy, and as you come closer, cutting towards the center of the galaxy in the ecliptic, that is when you go into higher yugas. The second is in the sinusoidal. I wanted to ask Aditya, how long does it take to finish one sinusoidal motion? And are we going down when you see a lot of crime and other things which is happening? That itself could be, I don't know how many thousands of years is there.
I don't know. I don't know. I need to see, but I know that we go like this way.
Well,
Right? So
yeah, I was talking to a Vaidya, and they told me that in the Kali Yuga, the human body cannot consume the same kind of prana from just, air and all of this into the body. Shukracharya had said that the body is between an asura and a pashu. So the body has a
Right.
short lifespan. It has to consume harsher food. It doesn't live as long without a lot of manipulation. You hear these stories of yogis sometimes living 200, 300 years. And of course, we have the Chiranjeevinis, we have those types of people. But in general, the Kali Yuga, that is exactly what Togiji was saying. There's less life. There's less available pran. And so we
Of
get
course,
sick, we die earlier,
right. Even Balram's the story of like Princess Revati, right? So like Princess
Yes,
Revati,
she
and
was
then
tall.
she was taller, yeah, in that previous yuga. So previous yuga people were more maybe because they were more prana, more body size, they were giants probably compared to us. Could have been an era where we had giants around, so makes sense. So she was told she had to be brought down to Dwapar Yuga height, and even then also Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga people might be shorter than the Dwapar Yuga people also. Rama's feet and all that we see in temples, so the Rama's feet size is already bigger than the normal human size. It could make sense in that regard. Makes perfect sense now, actually. Oh, this was a brilliant, Aditya. I just want to say that. So, see, a lot of things came to my head. I was just waiting for everyone. One thing is that, like, you have presented data, actually. No one does that. So, you have done the data thing. So, more people can handle it being a PhD student, right? At least having gone through PhD process, you can understand that. You have presented data, actually, which is pretty amazing. That itself is pretty amazing. You have compiled the work and all that. Then, on top of that, additional, definitely a lot of future research can be done. I'm thinking like a mechanical engineer here, right? So like you actually have like you can identify the topmost thing, top three categories, bottom three
Correct. Yeah.
categories. That
Yeah.
can,
Yeah.
and then on top of that, what Dr. Pai said, like in terms of like look at the groups of nakshatras together, like the what are the Lagu nakshatras doing, what are the Shipra nakshatras, what Lagu Shipra nakshatra, what is Siddha nakshatras
Because
doing?
I've never heard anyone talking about distance of yoga taras and
Yeah.
distance of stars. So I thought maybe
Yeah.
I should talk about
No,
that.
so each of these categories are separate. I mean, this is like a complete book on itself. You know,
Yeah.
forget
Yeah.
about yeah. This can what you present is a complete book on itself, and more importantly, like you can do it more actually. Like I said, each of the categories with Dr. Pai said, like you have the typical classification of nakshatras. Like you can identify what is going on with Lagu nakshatras. What are they doing with luminosity? What are they doing with distance? Like what
No,
Dr. Pai
especially the
identified as
Swati. Now we
ecliptic.
say it is very far,
Yeah,
but because of the proper motion, was Swati near the ecliptic
yeah,
when they wrote?
right, yeah.
I don't
Very
know.
valid point. Also, like the Lagu Nakshatra, Shipra Nakshatras, the Chara Nakshatra, the Dr. Pai identified with the Ugra Nakshatras, fixed Nakshatras, Stira Nakshatras, and all that. Those kind of Tikshna Nakshatras, what is going on that front? At least we identify a couple of Tikshna Nakshatra, Ardha Mula, and all that. We identify Ardha and Jyeshta is very clear that it's a Tikshna Nakshatra category no matter what. So, which is that itself is really pretty great actually.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then on top of that, what was literally interesting is that okay, like when you're looking at Ardha and Tikshna, is it like you are literally seeing the stars literally reflecting that Rashi quality itself? Like Scorpio is pretty bad
Exactly. Yeah.
luminosity kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
So the Scorpio, we presented nakshatra data, but the Rashi level predictions is much more superior actually. Like, like just look at Rashi level. Are these categories, three nakshatras coming as a Rashi thing, having any something similar, which you highlighted actually, which is pretty brilliant. Like the Scorpio Rashis, Scorpio nakshatras being more transformational because they are in that stage, as you highlighted. Pretty amazing point. So that is all great. So why not look at Sagittarius? Why not look at Aquarius? What is happening there with those nakshatras? That's a different set of future research actually. So that is one great thing in my opinion. The other thing also which you highlighted was I think the Aditya thing was of course great. So then next research point for that we look at the Rudra categories, what is going on that front. So as I mentioned, that'll be a very worthwhile thing to look into. So other classification like you have the Ugra, Tikshna, the Gana Nakshatra, Devagana, Asuragana, what's going on that front.
Yeah.
Manishagana and all that, very valid research that can be done now. So on top of that, I think someone was trying to say Devagana Nakshatras were like above the ecliptic, Suragana Nakshatra was below the ecliptic argument. I don't see that fitting, but it will be worthwhile to see what is going on that front.
That
Like, is it
doesn't
close
work.
to each other? Yeah, that doesn't work. Yeah,
People will
that's interesting.
say but it's not true.
Yeah, yeah, that's not right. Yeah. So,
It's
but
not
here,
true.
one thing which I thought Dr. Pai mentioned was very interesting was that he mentioned how look at he mentioned the fixed nakshatra, sthira nakshatra category, the balance is something he mentioned. So it is worthwhile to see which categories are falling and what is the distribution of that. Like if so, you have two above, two below also. So it's a distributed evenly. It's a category being distributed evenly. Also, very valid question to think about. That's a very interesting thing. A lot of statistics can be done. People, I'm like, yeah, create an AI and like do all this study, right?
Exactly. I was like, okay,
Worthwhile kind
yeah.
of thing. Yeah, might be actually worthwhile to do also. What identify additional patterns in this additional groups kind of thing going on. I think the other thing, the life cycle of star and luminosity kind of thing, as you mentioned, that's good. Already the other correlations which are already existing, as you said, right? So the luminosity existing
Yeah,
with
like
the life stage
Jyeshta
and all that.
and Ardra, they are going to die
Yeah,
soon. Transformation themes are, and we very well know that transformation
yeah,
themes are associated with those nakshatras.
But guys,
yeah,
there's
definitely.
a fundamental, okay, so however Jyotish is affecting us, meaning how do we don't understand it, right? So does it have something to do with the receiving of the light of something? Does it, we don't really know how it works, right? So if those stars in Vrishchika Rashi are bright, you think about the burden that comes in under that Rashi, the
Oh,
responsibility,
yeah. Oh, yes.
eighth house, in-laws, long-lasting things. It was called Ayush Bhava. That can give a long life to anything. So I was just thinking of the responsibility of the upkeep of human life. It's constant. The burden is constant. So that's an interesting fact that those stars are so bright and so visible.
And
That the
the
light
Mitra,
hits us. The light really hits us. You see Scorpio very easy in the night sky.
oh,
You can
yeah.
spot it so easy, right? And then I
Exactly.
was thinking of Shravan, Santhip ji, you're onto something with what Togi ji's pointing out. Maybe there's a Rashi element. I was thinking of the Chara Rashis. That's why I was so quiet. I was just
Right.
looking at all of that. Put them in the
That's a
Kendra.
very, yeah, that's a very interesting point. But I want you to share one of your research that you did on the rishis from Atharva Veda and the nakshatras, and then you'll get answers for all of this. Like for example, I think I saw it from your slides, one of them. Like Shravana Nakshatra is associated with Atri Rishi.
Yes.
You have that. Do you have it with
I
you?
don't
You
have that
remember?
slide on my computer. Oh,
Yeah,
goodness.
but
We're going to have to do
in,
a part 2. I will locate
now
that.
do you know why I'm
Because
saying
there's
that is
multiple rishis for some of the
rishis.
nakshatras.
Yes,
Yeah, I had to really scan the books for that. Yeah, and I was
exactly.
I was thinking of that with Shravan because, like you have this whole thing with the 10th house, right? You have
Yeah,
the Lokapala is Yamraj over the southern direction. This is southern direction in the chart at least,
Mhm.
right? The noon point, interestingly enough, is the southern direction in the chart. This is the way we see it. And so you have this Yamraj element here too, which is the land. He's the king of the Pitrus. Over all the Chara Rashis that mark the Kendras, you have a king. You do not have that in the other directions. They're not kings. Even Ishan, that's a form of Lord Shiva, but it's not a king. It's not the kingly. It's not Sada Shiva. It's Ishan. It's a very specific form of Lord Shiva. So you have Indra, the king of Swarga, in the east. the rising sign, the rising sun. You have Yama, the king of the Pitrus. He's the king of the ancestors in the south, where this Shravana is lining. Then you have Varun, the king
Varun.
of the Asuras. People forget this. They always say he renounced the throne. You know, they're like, oh, he renounced the throne. He doesn't want any. Well, he gets another throne. He gets put in, he gets near Yama. Actually, they talk about this where in Vayu Puran and all of this, they talk about his location. So he's in Patalok, and all the Nagas and the rivers bow to him, and the Asuras are in his court. He's a king. And then we have Kuber, who was appointed in the north over Cancer. We have Kuber, who's appointed as the king of the Yakshas and the Kinnaras. This is in Shiv Puran, it's all over the place in the Purans. So you have 4 kings over the Kendras. Okay, so there's something happening here, but Togiji was pointing out, like I said, I'm not seeing well. So I want to look over this later. I think we need to do a part 2 because I think there's something actually happening here with these points. I was just pointing out the other day to a few people saying these chara rashis. And one brilliant student, she said, she studies all the classics, and she said, yeah, Jaimini Rishi has a special chara dasha for people that have more than 4 planets in Kendras. These Kendras are really, really important. And the chara rashis naturally mark them, with Vishnu being at the top. But then Santhip Ji had mentioned that when we die, yes, there's all that Vishnu Loka talk, but Yamraj is ruling that direction.
Yeah.
There's got to be a correlation, these 4 kings.
No, this is very interesting, Evji. If you know what I am seeing here is there is a pattern, what you're mentioning. If you look at the center star of all of these chara rashis, Bharani Nakshatra is Yama.
Yam.
Pushya Nakshatra, Brahaspati.
Brahaspati.
Swati Nakshatra in Libra.
Vani.
And Shravana Nakshatra, all of them have come very commonly in this research.
This
I'm talking
is
about
what I
Swati,
was looking
Shravana.
at. Yes, I was looking at this. Ashwini, I don't think was too far. One of the stars, Ashwini as well. Like, I think it was interesting to look at that. I wonder about this, how much they knew and how they knew this. They knew this. So it probably does correlate.
Yeah,
And I think Santhip Ji and I, in the beginning, we were thinking, oh, Swati's off the ecliptic, Dinishta's off the ecliptic. This is the way we were thinking. But then I realized what Togiji was doing. I was like, okay, so then I don't know at all who's furthest away or who's closest, because you can't tell by brightness, you know.
no, can't see
So
by brain.
you can't tell by observation from the eye. But they must have known something. The Shravana, the Avatar, Trivikrama, the 3 steps. You have Shravana, this theme with space movement, you know, the traversal of space, measurement.
And also, interestingly, if you see, Swati and Ardra have only 1 star in their constellation, and that is their Yogatara.
Yeah.
And Chitra also,
Chitra.
spike up.
Yeah.
Arcturus. And Betelgeuse.
And then there's a whole issue with observing from the sky as well, because of the whole Swati looks like it's in Kanya. Meaning it is not going to look like it's Libra's like tiny as far as observation's concerned.
Yeah, astronomical Virgo sign is beginning from 10 degrees of Virgo to 20 degrees of Libra, what we call as 20 degrees.
Yes.
I think that Swati would have, that proper motion of Swati would have created I don't know where it would have been during the Vedic time.
That's massive motion.
Massive. Yeah.
I was looking at that. I was like, goodness, that really is Vayu.
Yeah.
Aditya, just a question. Is it possible at some point historically Swati could have been the pole star for us? And it has drifted away very fast.
I think,
Maybe even before the Vedic times, right? Yeah.
yeah, because they name another pole star. I can't remember its name right now.
Goa kind of thing or something, right?
It
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
Shiva is
Thuban.
the god.
before,
Thuban was our pole star.
yeah, before Dhru.
Thuban was our pole star. Right now it is Polaris, and after
Polaris,
some years,
Polaris.
and after some years it will be Vega, Abhijit.
So that would be every 25,000 years, roughly, you can
Yeah,
say.
27,000 years. Yes.
So we'll
But
have different pole stars.
you know what? For example, right now our north axis will be closest to the pole star at around 2100 AD. That is after 76 years from now. About 74 years from now, we will be closest to pole star. So what you will think after 26,000, it will come back to that same pole star, right? But in this 26,000, this pole star will also have got some motion, very tiny. But so we will not come back. Right now, we are going to come to the closest point. After 26,000, yes, we will come back to its closest point, but not as close as we will be this time. Because the pole star will also slightly move in 26,000 years. Everything is in motion. So remember that. You may think that you will come to the same star, but the star may also slightly move. So you may or may not be.
No, that's a good point. As we highlighted, just 1 minute. I just want to highlight one thing actually. Just give me 1 minute here. Just one thing I want to say was that, no, this is a good point. Of course, the stars are moving, things are changing in the sky kind of thing, right? So it's a very important point. So we can look at the movement at the scale of a yuga kind of thing also, which we discussed actually today. And that's a huge point. That's a separate topic by itself kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, there can be a slight minimum kind of change that can also happen in between, which is also a very good point. So like one thing I was thinking is like you highlighted the right thing, the right movement, left to right movement, and the up down movement. What happens if you combine both? What is the relative combined movement? Which direction the star is moving already right now compared to Earth?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So is it moving away from us? Is it moving in this particular northern direction, northeastern direction? Like UG said, like is it moving towards Yama? Is it moving towards Indra? That kind of thing. What is going on that front? I mean, that's a wild thing to think by itself, actually. Dude, I mean, telling each of these columns could be a separate book by itself. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
And
to,
one more research point, Aditya, you could, I mean, you've already done this research. The exaltation position of Navagrahas and the Yogataras, they're always exactly with the Yogatara it is mapping. That is another research of yours, isn't it?
That long time back.
yeah,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
research,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
was,
Okay.
yeah. Yep.
So, with the shift that the planet is going to Yogatara is going to make, will the exaltation points also shift
Ah,
over periods of time? Is my question.
Dr. Pai,
Astronomically.
this is
yeah.
brilliant. This is a brilliant point because things probably have to be adjusted for the
Yeah,
Yes,
time.
correct. Exactly correct.
for the
And this
time.
rigid memorizing of books that weren't even written by the rishis, or this is very tricky that we get into this because of what we're all discussing, everything's moving. One principle of Prakruti is that she's always changing. She's not Parush. We're not studying Purusha with this. We're not studying that
Yeah.
which is Ajja, without birth. We're not studying that. We're studying manifestation, that which is moving. And so that's always going to adapt, change. The intelligence needs to stay fluid to suit that. And if you noticed, a lot of these rishis, they had multiple year links. I always talk about this because everyone's stuck on this 365 equinox year when all the old school Jyotishis were not using it. They weren't using it. They knew of it. They were using it to mark an equinox. But even if you like ask Sanjay ji, his uncle, who was a Raj Jyotishi, was using a 360-day year. A lot of these guys were using multiple years. There's even a 327-day year. We don't really know what it was used for. I mean, it's clearly a nakshatra thing, like from Ashwini to Ashwini, I believe. But there's no delineation of what that year is used for because these rishis gave word of mouth. then it was written down way after the fact. Thank God it was written down because we can at least trace something back. Purans, Itihasa, it happened this way. It happened. So we have these hints, Ramayana, Mahabharata, these are rich sources of hints for these things. But when you really look at it, you have to think, how much were they adapting? These guys were extraordinarily adaptable with their intelligence. They weren't like modern school. This modern school system's nothing like how they taught. So,
No, just one thing on that point before I forget. I mean, of course, there's other huge, very default research point which can be done, which is what Dr. Pai hinted at also. Like he mentioned how the planets, what is the color they're going through, kind of thing. Like, is the planet a orange, red stage? Is it a blue stage? Is it a yellow stage kind of thing? Is it a white stage kind of thing? And what is that happening? How was that? What are the planetary? What are these Yogatara's colors right now? That's a
Yeah, that
worthwhile thing.
color I have not yet put. Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
maybe
that's a
because if you put too many things,
yeah,
it's like
exactly correct. No, but yeah, of course, but yeah, no, it's already is great. But then when that can be a part two thing actually. So when this is done, next layer of question after that will be like what you was mentioning. Why, like the whole concept of dasha and all that, right? What is is there a direct, which is what a normal student will be thinking right now. What are the Vimshoti dasha planetary correlations with this particular grahas and the nakshatras right now? When you do the classification, Jyeshta is Mercury, the other thing is Mercury and all that. Ashlesha is Mercury. Can we correlate the Vimshatiri Dasha directly with that? Next layer of question, what happens when you do with the Ashtotri Dasha kind of thing with this planetary correlation and the Nakshatra? Is it like the Dasha thing itself is trying to capture some of these information in a much more purer, simpler way kind of thing? Is that what was going on actually? So it could be a worthwhile thing to study separately. And on top of that, then of course, when you add in what you were just telling, what happens when you use a 360-year thing or when you use a 365-year thing, what is the dasha change that is going to happen? Are we capturing many of these information with these particular dasha thing? With the individual dasha, separate a deeper PhD research topic by itself if that can be done. So it's a
yeah,
pretty
would you
yeah
use the same year length for a Chara dasha as you would a Nakshatra dasha? Why are we
yeah
not fluid?
yeah.
Why are we not testing it? Why is everyone using an equinox year? I can't actually figure that one out when we have so many year links listed. And the ritual year that was always applied to nakshatras was either Tithi year or 360-day year. It wasn't, the equinox was marked, but it was used for a different reason. So there's a lot of these things that, even the correlation with all these different ayanamshas. It makes sense to use Chitra. It's the architect. But there's a lot of things that if we don't remain fluid, we'll never investigate them. We'll just go memorize a list. So that's someone else's mind that we're memorizing. We're not thinking for ourselves. We're not investigating. So yeah, there's a lot, there's a lot out there that
Yeah, so even what you mentioned, Ainam Shevji, like is the Swan Ainamsha favorable from a spiritual perspective, as you
yeah.
said, Chitra Ainamsha favorable from a material perspective, Revati Ainamsha favorable from a spiritual, like more spiritual perspective kind of thing. Worthwhile thing to explore.
And then you'll find things that disagree. Anyone who cares to really read, like Uttara Kalamrita, Paladipaka, all these books, they're not the same necessarily. They don't agree on everything. And the things that they do agree on, it looks almost as if they've copied and pasted. Brihat Jataka and Brihat Samhita are probably the most different. And this is where you find those are where you find that Bhaga is ruling Purva Falguni. Because before that, in the Brahmanas, they say Ariyaman. So there's all these kinds of things that we should be considering that, these guys were not thinking like us, like memorize a list and then
The
And
other
then one
thing,
more thing, Evji, I think you remember you have shown a slide in one of your presentations about yagna and an eagle shape, a falcon shape
Yes.
yagna.
the Agni.
That's something to do with the Alpha Akila, which means your Shravana Nakshatra,
That's very
and the
interesting.
number
I
of
might have
bricks.
that one. I can see if I have that on this computer.
And there is a specific number of bricks that are used in creating that yagna.
That is Atiratram, right?
Atiratram, exactly.
Yeah, Adhiratram, yes.
So what is that seeding? Is there some
I
mantra that
want to
is
know the
seed?
geometry and all of that. How many
Exactly.
breaks, what it is. I don't know.
Yes,
Is there any text available?
there is text available, but I think Eve has shown this in one of her lectures that I remember.
I'm just gonna
She
see if it's here. Let me share.
because that might be a yagna to invoke Shravana.
Can you guys see?
Yeah.
Yes, I
I
can
think
clearly
it was
see.
in Kritika. Yeah, all these.
Yeah. Agnistoma, Atiratra.
I think it's here.
It's
Yeah.
a big, huge thing.
Yes, huge. But
Yeah.
I was thinking, is there some connection with the Shravana because that's the eagle?
Sandeep,
Akila means
you should tell us because it's in Kerala they do, right?
Yeah,
There's
Kerala, they have all this pure
yeah,
Vedic.
yeah,
there. This is the
yeah.
one.
Yeah, very correct. Yeah. So they do the thing. This is like
Uparna. Yeah.
yeah, definitely like this is like the shape of they do
Falcon.
this to invoke yeah, they do this to invoke Garuda actually. That's exactly correct. So they do this in a big Havan kind of thing going on. I remember talking to one guy, one Brahman was kind of like literally, in one of these exhibition thing here, like he was kind of explaining. I asked him what is this eagle. He said it's Garuda kind of thing going on. So yeah, I think it's yeah, that's that kind of Havan still happen. So you have the Yajurvedis in Kerala, but nowadays apparently there's like a small school happening of
But you see,
Somayaga.
they only do it for
That kind
eagle,
of,
which is
oh my
Shravana,
God.
which is whose Yoga Tara is closest.
Exactly.
Yeah, see that's a big point. Like
Yeah.
that Shravana thing is a
It's
huge
an
point because
interesting.
why? Yeah, because like why is everyone like they why all the pretty now of course the typical answer is that why is the ancestors going to Vishnu's thing because that's the easiest region actually could be the easiest loka that is accessible also. Anyway, why is
Yama.
Vishnu coming?
Yama
Yeah,
rules the south where it
yeah,
falls in
Yama.
the chart.
Yeah, so in
It's
the south
got
direction
three
link with the
coordinates.
10th house. Right, right. So
And in the
that
Purans, people always think of Yamraj as this very unforgiving figure.
right,
No, they think of him as just an accountant, but there's multiple stories where he calls Chitragupta. He says, get over here. Tell me if this guy has any punya. Did he pray to Vishnu? This is one of the number one questions Yama asked. Did he do any sadhana? Did he do anything to Vishnu? And there's multiple stories of people, even someone who stole Sri Krishna's garment. And just by the contact with the garment, they were changed right before death. And so even though they had multiple sins, I think it was a Brahmin who left his path and started living like a really sketchy life. And when he went to get the Yamdand, it wasn't affecting him the same way. And Yama stopped it. And he said, wait a minute, this is a sign of Vishnu. This is what does he have on his merit? He calls Chitragupta. What does he have? Just read his deeds to me again. Tell me his deeds again. And so there's really interesting stories about Yamraj really having mercy for people who even take Vishnu's name. Very fascinating. There's got to be a correlation. Not only are they relatives in this way, they're considered to be relatives. They're in each other's lineage, according to some Purans.
Now
They'll
we saw the Shravana's Yoga Tara is closest to our sun. Now, out
yeah,
of all the properties, if I ask which is the completely opposite of our sun, what you will say? I will say that Betelgeuse or Antares, high
right.
luminosity, big mass, big radius, farthest from us, brightest, you know. So Rudra, Rudra,
Yeah,
completely opposite of Vishnu.
yeah. Also
Shravana. So
yeah, so also that's the other thing also. So like the other pairing of Varuna Mitra. what's going on that front, right? So Varna Mitra is like falling in 8th house of Scorpio and all that. Varna, what's going on that front? Why
They're
is the
called
Mitra given?
asuras. They are
Yeah,
called asuras all through the Rig Veda.
yeah, and morally,
Even
Mitra is
Mitra,
given the daytime sun,
Yes, even Mitra.
Varna is given the nighttime sun. So what's going on that
see,
front in
Mitra
this
was
case?
the Aditya, which was not coming in common with Adityas.
Yeah,
You see, the
right,
lunar
In
cycle was
in
yeah,
the
very bad.
Rig Veda, he's
Yeah.
referred to as an asura.
yeah,
Yeah, Mitra was not coming very close at all to all the properties of Aditya. All Adityas came in.
yeah,
But he was more worshipped in the Mediterranean as
yeah.
Mithrism. Have you heard of Mithrism? Where
Mitraism, yes,
Greece,
Mitraism.
Mithra is
Yes,
used. Persia,
yeah.
there's a he was worshipped there as a sun
He
god,
was an
Mithra.
entire cult god. He was a complete cult god. Even people to this day also do Mitra, actually, like an actual thing. So there's a Mitra is a real
And he is
god.
slaying the bull. Can you see
Yeah,
he's slaying the bull, which
yeah.
is opposite to him, which is
Scorpio,
Taurus
Taurus, yes.
sign.
Taurus. Ah, okay.
Yes,
Taurine.
also here, yeah, here also the other thing is that okay, you have the Shani ruled Rashis in Aquarius and Capricorn, and here you have the Pitris going towards the Vishnu Loka kind of thing. Is it much more accessible for the ordinary people? What about like now the argument is like, okay, say I want to go to Shiva Loka, which nakshatra should I be targeting actually? Very worthwhile question to ask. So like
You know
that's
what?
yeah,
The other thing, when I was measuring the properties of regulars, when you say Pitris,
right, right,
Pitris, they don't come under the that radius and mass very close to sun, but slightly more.
right.
Slightly more, not much. Like first I gave the table of less than 5, and it is P3. So it is not like Adityas, but little not that different also from Adityas.
Yeah,
In the
interesting. So yeah,
Shiv
because
Puran, they have a big place. The Pitrus have a big place. The sons of Bharadwaj,
yeah,
actually, they all go very violent, and because they're the worshippers of the Pitrus, they get memory of their previous lives in the next birth, so that they can do tapas. They get reborn as hunters because of their violence. They get reborn as hunters. You know that story. Okay, but it makes a comment that the Pitrus are higher than the Devas. And it says very clearly that the Devas even pray to the Pitrus, because even the Devas have to take a human birth to get moksha. Even the Devas have to take that human birth. So there must be something with this whole Pitru thing, it being highest in the sky with the Yama ruling that direction. Then we have the Magha Nakshatra, the Regulus business.
Even Aryaman is a Pitru.
He's a
He's
priest.
very much.
He's the
he's-
yeah,
priest of
chief
the
among the
Pitrus.
Pitrus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
It's
interesting. Leo becomes very interesting with that.
of course with the Leo one thing was that Leo's of course the sun's Multrikon portion. So what is going on that, right? We have now discussed. Dr. Pai mentioned about exaltation, depletion point of grahas, but what is happening with the Multrikon portion of like the grahas, like sun having Multrikon in Magha, Jupiter Multrikon in Mula, Mars Multrikon in Ashwini and all that. Is that capturing the essence of the grahas in a different way?
See, when I
Very
see
interesting.
their Yogatara properties of Purva Falguni, Uttara Falguni are very similar to Adityas.
Yeah.
And for Magha, slightly different. So all the stars of Leo 2 are very similar to,
Yeah.
except Magha a little bit,
See,
not that off.
one interesting exercise I made my students do is just take the exaltation rashis of the planets and start with them, and the final dispositor will always be moon. For example, sun is in Aries, so is the dispositor of that Mars. Mars is exalted in
Capricorn.
Capricorn. Who's the lord
Shani,
of it?
Shani.
Saturn. Saturn is exalted in Venus's
Libra.
Rashi,
Yeah.
Libra. Venus is exalted in Jupiter's Rashi.
Yeah.
Jupiter is exalted in Moon's Rashi. And
Yeah.
then Moon goes, the dispositor Moon is exalted in
Venus Rashi,
Taurus.
yeah.
So that is the end. Only in this whole equation that you saw, all planets are involved except Budh.
Yeah.
Budh doesn't end with the Moon at all.
Yeah.
But all other planets exaltation. You do the same thing with their debilitation position. You will get the same answers.
Interesting.
But in the debilitation position, Mercury comes. Why? Because
Yeah.
Mercury is debilitated in Jupiter's Rashi.
Right.
Mm.
Right? They all end with the moon then. Let's
Right.
let's do the debilitation position of the sun. Sun is Libra.
Yeah.
Dispositor is Venus.
Yeah.
Venus gets debilitated in
Virgo.
Mercury's sign.
Oh,
Mercury
yeah.
gets debilitated in Jupiter's
Jupiter.
sign.
Right.
Jupiter gets debilitated in Saturn's sign.
Yeah.
Saturn gets debilitated in Mars's sign.
Yeah.
Mars gets debilitated in Moon's sign, and then finally Moon comes to Scorpio.
Yeah.
So that is why Moon is the most important planet. Because everything wherever you start from, debilitation and exaltation will end with Moon.
And the moon is debilitated in Scorpio.
Scorpio.
Scorpio is like the base. Moon
Now
also
the
good.
base of what we saw today, where all the highly luminous planets are sitting.
Yeah.
I mean, the luminous Yogataras are sitting, the most luminous.
Because one thing is that so the Multragon is the point where that doesn't happen except for Moon. Moon also
Exactly.
Multragon.
That's what I'm saying. But exaltation and debilitation will happen.
Yeah. The other thing, UG, is that the Pitri thing you mentioned is that there are like Bhuvaneshwari Sampradayas where they'll actually worship the Pitris and all that. You know, you have to worship the Pitri before you can attempt Bhuvaneshwari kind of thing. And that's a legit Sampradaya actually. Like you have like you go to mountains and all that, pretty much like the tribal people, for instance, Pitri Aradhana is very huge actually. So that's interesting in that regard, in my opinion. So the path of the Pitris were also very legit actually. Like could be like, as Evie mentioned, could have its own unique thing to higher locals kind of thing going on, as which could be very fascinating. So that's interesting actually. So yeah, the Multragon thing is another research thing. Someone can actually look into that Multragon nakshatras and so forth, identify what
Okay,
is going on.
I'll ask you one fantastic thing in Mula Trikona. What is the Mula Trikona of Jupiter?
Mula nakshatra. Yeah.
Mula.
Okay,
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
It all falls in Mula.
Okay,
Yeah.
where is the Mula Trikona of Saturn?
1 through 20
Aquarius.
degrees Kumbha.
Kumbha.
Yeah.
Okay, just give me the Rashi.
Okay.
Okay.
What is the Mula Trikona of Moon?
Taurus.
Taurus.
Vrishab. Yeah.
What is the Mula Trikona of Mercury?
Kanya.
Virgo.
Kanya.
What is the Mula Trikona of Venus?
Atula.
Venus Libra. Yeah.
From the Mula Trikona of Jupiter, the 3, 6, 10, 11 is the Mula Trikona of Saturn, Moon, Mercury. So Upachaya Bhavas from the Mula Trikona of Jupiter is 3, 6, 10, 11.
Yeah.
Who is out of this sequence? Jupiter and Mars. They are in 159 Mula Trikona from the Mula Trikona of Jupiter. That's why in Brigu, Nadi, Jupiter is taken as the Lagna because he is the Prana. He is a Jiva.
He's Jiva Karaka.
He is a Jiva Karaka. He is Jiva. That's why he is called
Jiva
as
Karaka.
Jiva Karaka.
That's a big deal.
So why would all the planets align the Mula Trikona with the 3, 6, 10, 11, 5, 9? 3, 6, 10, 11 is Upachaya Bhavas.
Okay, Bhavas.
What is 3, 6, 10, 11 in our body, human body?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Is synovial fluids. Neck and arms is 3. Right? What is 6? Hips. What is 10? Knees. And what is 11? Ankles. These are the places where we can bend our body. There is no other place we can bend. Neck, shoulder, hip, knees, and ankles. That's where we have the synovial fluids.
Correct.
So that means if you do not have joint pains in your arms, legs, hips, and any problem, your Upachaya Bhavas are already active. They will keep growing. When you get back pain, when you get knee joint pain, when you get ankle pain, when you get neck pain, your Upachaya Bhava is being blocked naturally.
Yeah.
That means improve those bhavas.
Yeah.
Simple. Your body is telling you already the story.
No, this was great, Aditya. I think
Hmm.
some brilliant viewers, if they want to carry forward the research, you can stop sharing the screen, Yuji. So we can, I think brilliant viewers, if there are any brilliant viewers out there or researchers out there who are drawn to like our work kind of thing, they can of course carry your research and add a comment in the future. We'll be happy to read some intelligent comments for a change. For sure. Aditya has given a data actually, so utilize it. I'm pretty sure this will be a great point for many other astrologers also
It's a
because they will
research
come back
topic.
to this thing. Yeah, perfect research topic in many ways. We already highlighted multiple research angles already. Worthwhile to look into. Is there any common traits happening? Like, okay, right now all the Iran war is happening. Is there any theme like that happening? Is the violent nakshatras having more mass for that matter or more luminosity for that matter kind of thing going on? So when Shani is moving into some other nakshatra at some point in time, how is that correlating and all that? One of the heavy nakshatras, Jupiter moves to heavy nakshatras. Heavy Graha in a heavy nakshatra, are you gaining more weight because of that? Multiple research topics can be done actually just because of that, similar that kind of thing. So it's a great thing. I just want to thank Aditya for that, having done the work. I'm pretty sure this will be featured in a book for sure. Like, definitely buy a book in the future. So already we have work. We'll be releasing 27 books for sure. So, and Aditya will be releasing separate books in the future also. One is astronomy work. So that will also have to happen. So based on his work also. So that'll be great also. Yeah. Dr. Pai, any final comments? Go ahead.
No, I think there is we have already spoken quite a bit, and there is a lot of thoughts we ourselves have from this discussion that we have been having. So that itself shows how Aditya's presentation has intrigued our own inquisitiveness to go deeper into nakshatras, which we have been doing for the last 10 years or even more. But now, every time there is a new door which opens up, and we say, how little do we know, isn't it? It's a drop in the ocean what we know, and the ocean is still there, and we are still students of Jyotish, and we'll remain eternal students.
True. Oh, thanks for coming. Thanks for joining. I
Yeah.
know
I
it's
think,
everyone's
yeah.
schedule is busy, so appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, and also I'm pretty sure there'll be a part two in the future. Pretty soon, whenever Aditya is ready with the part two, we'll have a part two kind of thing, or EVG and Dr.
I
Pai
think
also.
Eve will have a lot of points for part two, I feel.
Yeah.
One
Yeah,
is
probably.
I told you about the rishis. Why I'm
Let's
talking about the
find
rishis?
that, Dr. Paiji. I'll find that.
From Atharva Veda.
I would also like to say one thing. This is a kind of off the topic. There was someone that I never look at comments, and I don't know how I saw this comment. I really, it must have came up on YouTube, and I couldn't find the comment after. Some poor person that maybe felt neglected by me when I was leaving Jyotish. And you guys know what I was going through. So they didn't get their session with me. So I would love, if they're watching this, to reach out to me so that I can either speak to them and make that right. admin@jyotisadanta.com, admin@jyoti, and just please tell me who you are. I'm so sorry. It wasn't
I'll put that in the link in the description.
it wasn't
this
that they
video.
were unimportant. They must have felt pushed aside because of all the transitions I was experiencing. So I take that fully on me. And so I would love them to reach out to me. Yeah.
Do you
Great.
want me to put that screenshot of that Excel sheet? Take that and put that too. If anyone wants, they can download.
Yeah, Excel sheet. Yeah, you can put it as a link kind of thing to download or something. That'll be great, Aditya. If you can share the link or something.
And if that link can be on EFG's website, so
Yes.
people can go there and download
Yeah,
it.
I
from
can
that'll be
put it.
great.
I can put it
Yeah.
to PG, send it to me.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
It's
Okay,
jyotisadanta.com, guys.
Perfect.
Yeah, great. Great. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for being patient also with us. Great. Namaste, everyone.